New mask. Same task.
What's up everybody on YouTube, AJ vs. Pet discussing another video, and today we're going to be talking about why we are witnessing the return of Marvel Studios. And what do I mean by that? Of course Marvel has been producing content, not as much this year obviously. Only Echo has came out, X-Men 97 that was fantastic, and Deadpool and Wolverine which was amazing too. But seeing Robert Downey Jr. return as Dr. Doom is going to be amazing, and it's been a couple of days removed of course since the announcement. It was exhilarating to see that, and a lot of people have some of their controversies on him returning, and we'll talk more about Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars in a few, but that's a main component of why Marvel Studios is back, but also projects like the Fantastic Four coming out next year, which is about to start production. In addition to Thunderbolts being released next year and Captain America 4, or should I say Captain America Brave New World, that's going to be amazing too. So it's really just a good time. Marvel has been trying a lot of things since Disney Plus aired in 2019 going into 2020, and of course different shows have been hit or miss. Loki has for sure by far in my opinion, and really a lot of Marvel fans' opinion, has been the best show that Marvel Studios has produced yet. But we have a lot of other intriguing things coming as well. I'm personally looking forward to Daredevil Born Again, which will release next spring. And you have a project like the show about Agatha Harkness, which comes out in September. Now that should be a wild card. We'll see how that goes. But I do believe Marvel is starting to get back into their bag, bringing the Russo brothers in to direct Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. They of course directed not only Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, but of course Captain America Civil War and Captain America Winter Soldier. So those directors coming back for these Avengers movies, and also the writers coming back from the past two Avengers movies as well. I think Marvel is starting to get back into that magic and really listening to the fans after really some misses recently. But before I get into the rest of the video guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and turn on post notifications. You know we post about here videos about Marvel and DC, sports, lifestyle, pop culture, NBA, NFL, YouTube shorts, things of that nature. With that being said, let's talk about why Marvel is back. So I spoke about it a little bit earlier. Marvel, they've had their downs and their lows for sure, not only post Endgame but post pandemic and things of that nature. You have positive movies like Spider-Man No Way Home, which was great, seeing Tobey and Andrew back, and really Tom Holland coming to his own, become his own Spider-Man and really adapt that new persona. No one knows who Peter Parker is, but it's going to be a struggle, but that's what we love about Spider-Man, seeing the different vantage points of him and seeing the prosperity of Spider-Man, but ultimately how Peter Parker suffers. So that's the great thing about Spider-Man going into the future. Shang-Chi, I believe most people did like that movie. I enjoyed it. He's an encouraging character going into the future. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, while James Gunn is now at the head of DC, that was a great wrap up to a trilogy, and we'll potentially see more of those characters return in the future. But there's been a lot of low movies, the Marvels, Eternals, even Black Widow. I mean, I don't really want to go too on about that. Even Thor Love and Thunder, love you Thor, love you Chris Hemsworth, but that movie was not great. But the encouraging thing is Marvel has a new direction, and even Quantumania too. Don't even get me started on that. And speaking of Quantumania, Kang the Conqueror not being here anymore, not having Kang Dynasty, I know everything about Jonathan Majors. It does suck about that because Kang overall as a villain in the comics, he is a very great villain, but I believe seeing Dr. Doom, that's going to be a great thing because in my opinion, he's the greatest Marvel villain of all time. The different takes on him in Secret Wars, from the 2015 issues to the 1980s issues, and also the infamous Iron Man issue that it really seems like Robert Downey Jr.'s take will be inspired on, because of course Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man in MCU for 11 years, and now he's going to be portraying Dr. Doom. And I haven't read too much of infamous Iron Man, but essentially that is Iron Man being a variant and alternate universe of Dr. Doom. So while a lot of people have their issues with Robert Downey Jr. returning as a villain, we can really look back to source material from the 2016 run of the infamous Iron Man and say, hey, there's some inspiration there. So it's not like Marvel is just pulling this out of their butt or things like that. And there's going to be a real debate, and understandably so, on, oh, we didn't grow up with these characters like we did in the first three phases of the MCU going into Infinity War and Endgame. There's not a Captain America that we've been with for a long time. There's not that Iron Man. There's not Black Widow. There's not the original 6 that we had. And I can see that for sure. Of course, you'll still have Thor as Chris Hemsworth, potentially Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. Thank God he's doing well after that snowplow accident last year. Spider-Man, of course, Tom Holland, who's been Spider-Man since 2016. But the reality is, this is a new era. There potentially will be new mutants, and I don't really want to say any spoilers about Deadpool and Wolverine, because I want people to be able to watch this without having to worry about that. But there's potential for different characters from the Fox universe and from the main MCU to be in Secret Wars, to be in Doomsday. That'll help out with this new team comprised of new Avengers. So I think there's some encouragement there, and we should really trust in what the Russo brothers are able to convey and conjure up, especially in tandem with Kevin Feige. Because if they were able to bring that same magic and same legendary glory to Marvel Studios in Infinity War and Endgame, who's to say that they can't do that again in Doomsday and in Secret Wars, even though we are a couple of years from Doomsday and a few years away from Secret Wars. Because in the comics, Secret Wars is the most legendary story of all time, or at least one of the most notable comics wise. The Infinity Gauntlet storyline, which of course Infinity War and Endgame is based off of is a legendary one, but people really regard Secret Wars as being that prestigious storyline which chaos ensues. All the incursions, all the multiverse dimension hopping, all of these different alternate versions of Marvel characters and Marvel legends being combined to save the overall universe. That's a huge event, and we're gonna see that into live action in a few years. The focus of this though is not necessarily just about the Avengers movies though, because while the Avengers movies were arguably the greatest thing about Marvel in phases 1, 2, and 3, the individual stories that we were able to take away were some of the greatest aspects about the MCU. Not always having to look forward to a huge team up, but really directors and these characters having a great story into themselves and then eventually joining with different characters in the universe is what made it so great. You didn't have to watch a million shows, a million movies to catch up and understand why everything is going on. And it seems like Kevin Feige is telling the directors to lean into that bag, going back to that original type of ideology. As the director of the Thunderbolts said, that he wants that movie to be something that people who haven't known everything about the Marvel history or Marvel movies to be able to watch and not feel like they've missed out on anything. So that's an encouraging thing. But for me, I think Fantastic Four is going to be a huge game changer. Seeing Matt Shakman, who of course directed WandaVision, he did a great job there, but seeing Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, a lot of people were polarizing on that, debating on if he should be Reed Richards, but I think that'll turn out great. Seeing Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, that's going to be beautiful. Joseph Quinn as Human Torch, and Ebon Moss-Barack as the Thing, or Ben Grimm, as I should say. The movie is going to be really good. And also Galactus. They showed a little preview at San Diego Comic-Con of what he will look like in some VFX work, and he's going to look great. A lot of people underrate the type of villain that Galactus will be too. So seeing legendary and iconic Marvel villains like Galactus, like Doctor Doom, who's going to be the big bad, basically the Thanos of the rest of this multiverse saga, I think that Marvel is cooking up something for sure. And while it is a beautiful thing and really a great sell to all Marvel fans who love the brand, some who have been disinterested in the past few years saying it fell off, to bring back Robert Downey Jr., I do believe that bringing in an original team like the Fantastic Four is going to help really change some things and push things forward. But not only that, the rated R content, I think that's another great thing, because we saw that with Deadpool and Wolverine, the type of gore and really not Disneyfying everything. A lot of people were skeptical about Deadpool and Wolverine if it will be Disneyfied, but if you saw the movie, you know that it was great. It was really nothing different about it than the other Deadpool movies, and didn't take away from Deadpool, didn't take away from the Fox X-Men or Wolverine. It was a great thing. And seeing projects next year like Daredevil come out, potentially in the future Blade, whenever that's going to come out, because right now it's in development purgatory, but I have hope that it will potentially come out. But projects like that, Marvel Zombies, that's going to be rated R, of course, a TV show, but still, I think Marvel leaning into that rated R bag, not limiting themselves, that's going to be a beautiful thing too, because we've known mostly everything to be PG-13 leading up until now. Echo was also kind of rated R, but it's a TV show, so that's different. But they're really starting to push the narrative, because in the comics, there's no PG-13, there's no rated R, there's storytelling, there's iconic storytelling, and if it pushes the boundaries, if it's a little gore, if it's super violent, it is what it is, but the story gets told and it's iconic, and there's so many different iconic and legendary Marvel comics that you can learn from the source material to inspire the movies. And I believe that Marvel is starting to learn that, Disney is starting to learn that, and ultimately that'll result in a better product for fans and for people who love Marvel in general. So guys, this video is not made to be a rant or anything of that nature, but really a celebration and encouragement for the future, because Marvel, which we love about them, they have provided great stories over the years. And just like in life, how sometimes things are going great but then they go unexpectedly worse, questioning if you know how to do something or get back to where you were or get back to prosperity and be legendary. I think that's where Marvel has been, but now they see the road for a great future, having some adversity, having some results they didn't expect or anticipate with a different vision, but getting back into their original brand, getting back into amazing storytelling, to characters that we know and love, that we haven't seen, that we've seen in the past in different studios that haven't been handled properly, like a Fantastic Four, like some of the mutants, but bringing them into the MCU and having a new chapter, having a villain that will potentially save the Marvel universe that we've seen in a different role, as Iron Man being the most notable Marvel actor and one of the greatest actors in Hollywood of all time, and Robert Downey Jr. returning. I do believe that Marvel is on the way to a legendary comeback, and we're going to see some great storytelling, some great filmmaking, and some great movies imminently going into the future and beyond. So yeah guys, y'all let me know in the comments down below what y'all thought about this San Diego Comic-Con, Avengers Doomsday being made, Avengers Secret Wars being made, Robert Downey Jr. returning, some of your most anticipated films that you're looking forward to. Let me know in the comments down below guys. We're living in a beautiful time in my opinion, and Marvel, they're gonna be back guys. I have no doubt about it. I appreciate you guys watching. Always make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggerUs, and also on TikTok at SwaggerUs02 for cooking videos, shorts, reels, content, things of that nature. More videos are on the way guys. Y'all be blessed. God loves you. Jesus loves you. You're doing well. If you aren't, I'm here for you. Always available to talk. Y'all be blessed and y'all have a good one.